Hello, everybody, and welcome back to X-Men, the animated series re-examined, a show where two gentlemen re-examine a childhood favourite, and find out if it was a childhood favourite. That's the premise. I'm Dan Bain, and as always, I'm joined with my longtime colleague, associate, and dear friend, it's Javier Hakeem.
Hello, everyone. How's it going? I'm really excited about today's episode because the last two episodes of X-Men, I thought, quite frankly, were a bit shit.
They have been a bit shit, but yeah, I have to agree. We've upped in quality. There's clearly been, feels like there was a staff meeting, perhaps.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Everyone, guys, get in here. Get in. We need to talk about the. We need to talk about the episodes.
Yeah, the last two episodes, they were like, hey, look, I let you run with these storylines, and like, they're still running. I didn't see the returns. You wanted to bring Morph back? We brought Morph back, and look what you gave me.
Yeah, guys, we just need to knuckle down, okay? Because it's out of control.
And knuckle down they did. Knuckle down they did. Because I really enjoyed this latest episode. I did. And that's gonna flavor my attitude towards it through this podcast.
Excellent. Harv has returned with a positive attitude.
Or maybe it's the fact that I've just wolfed down a full curry to make to get in time for this podcast recording.
Hard to tell the difference between, am I happy because my belly is full?
Yeah, all the blood has gone to my digestive system, and it's rerouting power from my brain. So if you hear me say some weird shit, it's because the curry has taken all my resources.
We won't hold that against you. Harv, use that power of positive thinking, and quickly, before your curry steals your brain power, tell us about what happens in this episode. Give us an overview.
Yes, before I get the curry crash. This is Season 2, Episode 4. It is Red Dawn. That's the name of it. Also the name of a classic 80s movie starring Patrick Swayze fighting communism and the Soviets, and also used here in the X-Men animated series. We get a quick little catch-up on Magneto and Professor Xavier, but most of the episode is dealt with what's going on in Russia or Soviet countries. It's a little bit ambiguous. And we meet the big villain, Omega Red, and the X-Men helping out their dear friend Colossus, who makes a return appearance in this episode. I love Colossus. And helping him out. Help the Russian people. And you can tell they're Russian people in this animated series because they have scarves around their heads like little Russian nonnas or babushkas and like that. Yeah, and they're farmers. They don't actually have corporate jobs and everything. Anyway, I found a little bit of propaganda kind of like leading in this episode. But it's mostly set taking down Omega Red and Colossus and Jubilee. It's good. It's good. It's all right good.
Yeah, I enjoyed this, and it's very much it's fairly self-contained.
Yes.
It just kind of is like, let's follow this one. But I felt this was a much more successful kind of iteration of this kind of idea than the Shadow King episode that we saw.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, fuck the Shadow King. Like, this is way better. Like, I mean, it is self-contained. However, by the end of it, I did wonder a little bit, like, did you guys just try to solve, like, the Soviet Union's, like, leftover aftermath of problems in one episode? Because it's a little bit more complex than that. And I feel you glossed over some details. But they did their darndest to just go,
They did their darndest.
We're trying to educate 90s kids about the Cold War, okay? Just give me a goddamn break.
Yeah. The very last thing that I wrote down after watching this episode was, I feel like they're pushing this through very fast.
my last note was confusing education of the Soviet Union? Question mark?
Yeah.
That was my takeaway as soon as the credits started rolling.
Yeah. I was like, wow, they moved through that very quickly.
But what a fun education it was out of all the classes you have. I'd much have lessons taught to me through the X-Men. So just before we get to the main bulk of this story, we've got Magneto and Xavier in the Savage Land again, and we get like about 5 minutes of what they're up to again. And it feels like this side plot of Magneto and Professor Xavier in the Savage Land Do you get the feeling by now, because they've been coming to it a couple of episodes in a row, do you get the feeling that a writer came to them and said, like, okay, this is what I've got, and someone said, okay, this ain't strong enough on its own. What we're going to give you is like 5 minutes of airtime each episode for about 6 episodes, okay? Because this ain't going to carry an episode on its own.
Feels to me like we're building to that will be the finale of the season.
Yeah.
Is kind of my...
Possibly.
Also, I'll just flag, also hadn't seen this episode. This was first
Oh, a
time
first viewing for you.
First viewing for me, yeah. So
nice.
We still haven't seen. I still have not revisited anything.
Dan
in terms
is still...
of the re-examining, I have done none.
Yeah, we're going to get to the end of this, and Dan's going to go, balls out. It turns out I was thinking of Jason the Wheeled Warriors this whole time.
Yeah.
Which is the next series our podcast is going to be about.
Yeah. I couldn't believe that there were no Battletoads. I remember there being Battletoads.
When did they go to Cybertron?
Yeah.
So this bit with Magneto and Professor, it actually starts, it reads a little bit sometimes like a play, because it starts off picking up from when Xavier saved Magneto from the waterfall. And when he saves him, he goes, I don't know why I've got their voice actors in their head, in my head, but their voices seem to be grating on me, which it makes me think like I'm just wanting them to do something. Anyway, Magneto says to Xavier, like, you could have just, my life, what did he say? Your life would be much easier made easier by my death. Why not just let me die? And I was like, geez, this is pretty philosophical kickoff to the episode.
They're both very formal gentlemen.
They are, aren't they?
They've got such an interesting dynamic where they've known each other for so long, but it's all like... I also made a note of one of Magneto's lines, which was, I may not have my mutant powers, Charles, but I will not die easily.
Yes.
Like,
yeah. He's got that really pompous, grandiose voice, Magneto, doesn't he? I found Professor Xavier's voice... Yeah. Professor Xavier's voice, I found a little bit to be quite... It seems a little bit sneery. I don't know. Maybe I've always found him a little lecturous. He's like, well, Magneto, yes.
He does have a little bit of that kind of there's some to it.
Yeah. Slightly hanging around like that. So they're contemplating this, and then suddenly a fucking T-Rex comes out of nowhere and goes, I'm gonna have you. Yeah. What I loved about this, their plan is they run to a nearby geyser.
Yeah.
And they go around it, and Magneto throws stones at this T-Rex to like get them to follow them. First off, I wrote down, Magneto has the accuracy of a goddamn Major League Baseball pitcher, because he scones this T-Rex in the head with several rocks. I'm like, fuck your magnetism powers, bro. If this all falls through, go for the Dodgers. You got a place on the Yankees. And so the whole point is like they want to get the T-Rex to lean his head on the geyser to try and get them while they're on the other side. I'm like, you don't know when that geyser's going off.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. The whole technique and the throwing rocks as well. It felt like very much like a technique that would happen in primary school, where you got some, you know how there was always some kid who would get real angry and would go crazy, and like often because children are cruel, you would deliberately do things to make them go crazy.
Oh, we hate that. Let's keep doing it.
Yeah, and then they would chase you, and the aim of the game was to like get something between you and them, and then you just always stay on the opposite side.
Yeah, tree, bench, what have you. Other kid that's going to get drawn into this.
Yeah, at my school it was you know those big kind of giant cotton reels that they put industrial like cable around. Dan and I went to school in the fucking 1800s. Yeah, and those were playground equipment, apparently. But those round anyway.
Yeah. The big wooden things.
Yeah. This technique very much reminded me of I've made the psycho kid angry. Now I'm going to hide on the other side of the equipment.
Who happens to be the T-Rex? I wrote down when they were getting rocks and getting the thing to follow them until the geyser goes off. I just wrote down it feels like a video game level.
Yeah, right.
Like you've got to get the timing right. You know, you can't hurt the T-Rex with your normal attacks. You've got to get it to get on the geyser.
Yeah.
So, long story short, this works, and the geyser goes off underneath the T-Rex's chin, and then it just fucking dies.
It just dies. Yeah.
Keels over and dies. He's like, my weakness, steam on my neck.
I've been scalded in my my sensitive under chin area.
Remember, everyone, if you ever taste by a T-Rex, go for the under the chin. Just give it a little tickle.
Yeah.
Right there. Get close.
It's the less famous version of the saying "the Achilles heel." It's the T-Rex chin.
You know when people say, like, if you're attacked by a shark, like, just poke its eyes? Like, if it's that close, I'm just shitting my pants already. Like, I'm not thinking about poking its eyes.
No.
I'm already dead.
Yeah. I'll just be floating very still and being like, oh, God, I hope it goes away. Maybe if I close my eyes, it's not here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we finish up with Nags and Xavier. Surely that's to be continued in another episode, but not this one. Every time I don't give a shit about the Savage Land. I found out, I don't know, there's little drips and drabs, but I don't care. Yeah. And I was quite happy to have it cut away from then. Anyway, we cut to Russia, in some lab in Russia. And they're unfreezing a character called Omega Red. Dan, you hadn't seen this episode before. I'm pretty sure you're not familiar with Omega Red as a character. When this guy got unthawed and started with his long hair...
Did I come up with some new names?
I really
did have.
Did you? Oh, yes! Yes. Please. Hit me.
Yep. Okay, so, here were my pitches for if I'd just seen this mutant. I knew he was Russian, right? We'd kind of had that kind of... So,
for the viewers, let me just give you a quick synopsis of what he looks like. He's huge, cold, grey-skinned Russian with armor, tentacles coming out of his hands, big blonde top knot, and big, long, flowing blonde hair, and just looks evil, kind of red eyes. Yeah, evil all around.
He's got
reddish kind of grey costume.
Yeah, and he's got no pupil. He's got the I'm evil because I've got no pupils.
That's how you can tell.
Yes, how you can tell. My first pitch, Rusky. I was like, too simple.
That sounds like Wolverine. Wolverine would call him that. Rusky.
Yeah. Then I was like, Communista. Which is, it's like an inversion of Mr. Sinister.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I get why you said that.
And then I was like, Daniel, that's ridiculous. It's not going to be. He's not going to be called that. He's going to be called the Red Menace.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. Red Menace.
Yeah,
that's good.
So those were my pitches for that.
I mean, you were half right on one of those.
Yeah. And then it wasn't like the other episode where I was like, well, I don't like this name that you've given him. I think my one's better.
Took him ages to get over that one, everyone. Took him ages to get over that.
That's a good one.
He's still Spring-Heeled Jack to me.
He still is Spring-Heeled Jack to me. Or the Prancer. I'll take either. I'll take either.
So his name is Omega Red. And now that I think about it, this ultra-Russian communist symbol, it has a Greek letter in his name?
Yeah.
Anyway, Omega Red.
I saw there's a very brief moment where you see Captain America.
Yes, that's later on in the thing in a flashback. But yes,
right. Yeah. And so is this Soviet Russia? Captain Soviet Russia,
pretty much. For all intents and purposes, he is Captain Russia, and he was again frozen in time. I can't remember what actually imprisoned him the first time. I think it's Wolverine and his band of what do they call them? I'm forgetting the name. Anyway, he was put on ice for 25 years, and he's been unthawed by people that are wanting the Soviet Union to continue.
Yeah,
and he's been let loose to run amok. Yeah, right? And we also find another Russian superhero who's a woman who seems to be the voice of reason. Her name is Darkstar, and she just seems to pop in and just be like Jiminy Cricket, just kind of pop in and go, I don't know if this is a good idea. What are you guys doing? Are you sure you want to unleash that evil?
Her job is basically to kind of come in and go, There's so many shots of her just side-eyeing what's going on.
Just weeks coming in and be Marge Simpson for a bit.
Yeah. I don't know about this.
So, So we see Omega Red getting thawed out, released, and then it cuts to a city in Russia or the Soviet Union. It's never made really clear, maybe apart from one panel backdrop. But tanks taking it over. It seems to be under attack, and we can't tell if this is part of Omega Red's wave of terror, or people are trying to attack Omega Red and his reawakening.
Yeah.
It's unclear.
There's a lot of these, through the episode, a lot of this kind of and let's cut to, there's a riot kind of out, robot tanks and robots are roboting and lasering.
Yeah.
And
the civilians.
The civilians, as
this
you're
is
saying,
bad.
People with babushka scarves and fur-lined flap caps are running.
Overalls as far as the eye can see.
Yeah.
So we cut back to the X-Mansion in Westchester. Jubilee's all on her own. And she's popped out of the X-Mansion because there's no food in the house, and she goes down to a local grocery store, and she sees some anti-mutant graffiti, and she uses her powers to get it off, which I've never seen before. She's got anti-graffiti powers.
Yeah, she's got a pressure washer kind of function to her power. She's got real Bart Simpson. She leaves the X-Mansion on a rocket skateboard.
Yeah.
Thing.
They're just okay, I need it to be uber teenager. Okay, rocket skateboard, shades on, popping bubble gum.
Yeah.
So she goes to the grocery store, and the Friends of Humanity, these people that hate the muties, they're in there roughing up the shopkeeper because he serves mutants, and they go, we don't want no mutant lovers in here, and they're smashing up his store. Yes. What I found hilarious here is she comes in and goes, why don't you pick on someone your own size? And they go, turn around, they look at her, they all look at her, these Friends of Humanity, they look at her and go, you mean you? And she goes, yeah. And then she unleashes her powers, and they go, she's a mutant. And you remember in the previous episode, these guys had a town hall meeting where they had Jubilee as a prisoner.
Yeah.
So either these guys weren't there or don't remember, or the organization is big enough to have people that just couldn't, it's sold out, they couldn't get tickets.
It was sold out.
Then now they're putting two and two together. Oh my God, she's a mutant.
Oh, because then Colossus arrives.
Colossus turns up to help her out. And he's he armors up in his metal skin. And the Friends of Humanity, this is what I find amazing. They don't know who this guy is.
Yeah.
He just turns his metal skin on, and they throw groceries at him. And then they decide, oh no, us throwing milk is not doing anything. Run.
Yeah.
As a hero's intro, that kind of sucks. If you were the actor being told, okay, Colossus, you go in there, they throw some celery and some milk and some bread at you.
Yeah.
And then they run away because you're awesome.
Yeah. They're out of options. That's their... They're I don't know what else we can do, guys.
That's it, guys. He's done us, boys. He's done us, boys. Run! Colossus comes in and they go back to the X-Mansion, and Colossus explains that his homeland, we assume Russia, is under attack by the Menace, Omega Red, and Jubilee. Two things here. One, Jubilee goes, oh, everyone else is gone. I'll go with you. To which Colossus... He did a really good job of being polite, but if I turned up wanting the X-Men's help and all I got was Jubilee, I'd be like, oh, shit.
And no one else is, literally no one else is here.
Not even Beast? No, he's not
even... Yeah. Also, where is Beast?
In the lab.
I know.
Reading?
He is very absent.
He's so absent, isn't he? And he was so absent in season 1.
Yeah. Yeah, he's almost more absent here because we don't keep cutting to him.
I know.
To be oh no, he's still stuck in jail.
Yeah. Maybe Beast's agent was an absolute boss and was like, okay, you only get him for so many episodes, but you're going to pay him the full whack.
Yeah,
anyway,
that's right. And his guest star credits every time.
Exactly.
Top of the credits.
Oh yeah, he's in the intro. Damn right. And so Jubilee. It's so hilarious and seems insequential and as a joke, but she leaves a note on the fridge going, hey guys, I've gone off with Colossus to fight this guy called Omega Red in Russia. Free dinner's in the freezer. Catch you later. Bye. Yeah, and I thought it was a lovely little joke that a teenager would do, but this note ends up becoming so important for the rest of the episode. It is quite the plot device.
Yeah, I thought it was genuinely funny. I laughed as well. I actually had a little chuckle when she wrote her dinner is in the freezer. I'm off to fucking save the world.
On my own. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she goes and they get in a jet and fly off.
Yeah.
Her and Colossus. Yeah. They cut back to Russia. Omega Red at this point is wandering. I had to pause this because he wanders into a pretty derelict building where there's like 7 people and one guy behind a podium.
Yes.
And then he just like crashes the party and he goes, I am dissolving this parliament. And I was like, this is a parliament?
Yeah. And I don't know if you noticed, but did it look like Hitler was at that meeting?
I did not notice that.
They all, like, he's only in like one shot, but there's just one wide where they all have, because they're all remnants of the Soviet bloc or whatever, they've all got quite lustrous moustaches and stuff like that, right? Except
did you spot a skinny one, did you, Dan?
Who's got like a Hitler moustache? And I'm like it's blink or you miss it.
I mean, that's quite a distinctive moustache.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like it jumps out at you, and I'm like, what is the messaging here? Like, am I meant to be like Omega Red has dissolved the
parliament that looks like a treehouse meeting,
and that's moving. You know, because I mean, this is early '90s, so we're post Glasnost. We're moving into closer economic relations with the Western powers through Russia. Like that's kind of the vibe. Am I meant to sympathize with these guys that this kind of force from the Cold War, these kind of Soviet isolationist policies is coming in and destroying them? Or am I meant
pretty
to be
heavy
like,
over your bowl of Saturday morning cereal?
or am I meant to be like, nah, these guys have Hitler on their side? So it's actually probably for the best that...
I reckon it was just the showrunners like foreshadowing a little bit because Omega Red wants to reinstate the Soviet Union, and I think maybe they just wanted a little subliminal like, hey, if you bring the commies back, what's next? Nazis.
You bring back Hitler. Yeah.
You're damn right.
Yeah.
So Omega Red dissolves this parliament, quote unquote.
Yes.
Colossus and Jubilee turn up. Jubilee has a costume change. I guess it's cold. She can't be wearing shorts and this open trench coat.
Yeah. I was unsure about Jubilee's outfit. I'm not sure it was as fashion forward as I usually enjoy.
Are you going for practicality or are you going for superhero chic?
Yeah.
Just pick a lane, Jubilee, because right now you're kind of going for both and you're hitting none.
Yeah.
Anyway, we find out from Colossus that he goes a flashback because he turns up that he's like, oh my god, my home. He turns up at his home and he finds that it's been demolished.
Yeah.
And there's a flashback to actually the origin of Colossus finding his powers in the comics. They portrayed it here. He was working on his farm in Russia. He's got a little sister called Ileana. A runaway tractor was about to hit her, and the first time he discovered he could turn to metal was him, protecting his sister, and turning into metal.
Yeah.
But in this one, they said, you've destroyed the tractor, and you're a mutant. Get out of here.
Yes.
Get out of here, you.
Watching that, I was like, are they more angry that he is a mutant or that he has destroyed the tractor?
Why not both, Dan? Why not both? A filthy mutie destroyed our tractor.
Our tractor, yeah.
We can't catch a break.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that is symbolically this is Colossus throwing himself upon the means of production, right?
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh my god, kids! Did you just think you were watching? Layers, people, layers. This is the Re-Examined podcast, and my God, one of us is re-examining the shit out of this. And it's his first time viewing, by the way. It's his first time viewing. So one of us is really holding up the meat of this podcast, and one of us is just here going, I don't like Jubilee's costume. I apologize to the listeners out there. I will try to provide some more politically heavy insights like Dan. as this podcast goes forward.
I think if we're both doing it hard, it will become insufferable. And I'm not sure that it's not so far.
Maybe Colossus is trying to protect himself from the propaganda of the bourgeoisie.
Maybe he is. Maybe he is.
Anyway, in the middle of his he finishes his flashback, and then this is just so bizarre. Like, he's looking at the demolished remains of his house, and Ileana, his sister, just kind of crawls out from under there without a scratch and just goes, "Hey, Piotr! Hey, no, I've just been hanging out under here."
Yeah.
It's like she'd been reading a magazine or a book under there, and she just pops out like, "Hey, Colossus!" Whoa. And they hug, and he holds her in a way that is not like a sisterly, brotherly love. It's like not like a hug. It's like it's too romantic for my liking. And I just think the animators looked at it and went, someone would have gone, "Is that a bit too creepy the way he's holding it?" And they went, "Fuck it, it's lunch. It'll do. It'll do."
Yeah, they're like, "Look, I only draw romantic hugging. I don't know how to make this platonic. Does his hand need to be right there? I don't know how to draw it another way.
I don't know how to do it otherwise, guys." This is the first bit we come back and realize the note is huge because it cuts back to the X-Mansion and Wolverine just wanders into the kitchen and reads the note. And he goes, "Omega Red." And you suddenly realize they've got history. Yeah. And he just crumples up the note and throws it on the floor and immediately goes and gets another jet and flies off. By the way, there are jets galore in this X-Mansion. Jet for you. Look under your chair. There's a jet.
Yeah. They got personal jets and kind of soccer mum kind of jets where the whole family. They got people mover jets as well.
They stack cars like those trolleys at the airport. Clearly.
Yeah.
In retrospect, so you find out later that Wolverine and Omega Red go back and they're mortal enemies. But from Wolverine's perspective, he was just wandering into the kitchen probably to get like a glass of whatever. Yeah. And the last thing you want to be thinking, like, "I hope there's not a note here that kind of brings up the monster from my past that I have to go immediately deal with."
Yeah. I feel like that's just what life is like being Wolverine, I think. I think it's just constant, like, trying to just get on with doing normal everyday, and then another nightmare from your past.
Yeah, dude hasn't had a proper meal in years.
No,
having to go deal with this.
Yeah.
So he runs off and goes gets to Russia in record time. When he catches up, Jubilee and Colossus are helping free some prisoners that Omega Red has taken prisoner, including his family. And so there's tanks that they fuck up and soldiers, and Omega Red's there as well. And they're having a hard time. And Wolverine shows up and helps with the fight.
Colossus in this fight just kind of goes bananas. Like, he just kind of goes, "Ah!" and kind of... it's like Jubilee's like, "Let's sneakily do this," and he's like, "Ah!" and he rips the gate off and he runs in.
No stealth mission achievement for me.
No stealth mission, and I was like, this seems reckless, but then it also seemed not entirely unsuccessful, and I was reminded of those moments. Do you ever have this experience where you're playing like a video game and you suddenly realize you're way more powerful than you thought you were?
Yeah.
I had that experience when I was playing the Batman Arkham City.
Oh yeah.
And where I'm like, I'd been playing so cautiously, like very much like kind of stealth Batman, and just like, and then like, I don't know, hours into playing it, I suddenly realized, Batman can fist fight 50 guys at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, like if you get it together, like, he can just fist fight 50 guys.
Hey, put down that explosive gel.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Just no need for stealth here, guys.
What are you doing? Why are you sneaking around?
Take your finger off the crawl button.
Fist fight them. Yeah.
Just go down there and fuck them up. You're Batman.
Yeah.
You're a level 30 Batman now.
Yeah. It really struck me. I was like, whoa, Colossus, what are you doing? Like, and then I was like, oh no, mate, actually, he's just really powerful and kind of understands that he can
And
just
also-
kind of walk in there and ping, 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 ping.
His power is kind of near invulnerability.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like this. So Wolverine distracts Omega Red, and then Omega Red takes out Wolverine a little bit. And then Colossus just picks up a tank and throws it on Omega Red. But the way it's framed and it's animated, it looks like a comedy sketch. It looks very Roadrunner-esque. It looks like, you know when the coyote gets flattened by a rock? It looks like that with Omega Red. And I actually had a chuckle because the tank just lands on him so quickly without him making a sound. And I laughed. And then they held a beat and these little tentacles start popping out from under the tank.
Yeah.
Like, I swear they're twitching.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Like there's a great line, I thought a genuinely great fun line where Wolverine's like, "I don't need your help," and Colossus is like, "Yeah, but you're in my country. It would be impolite for me not to kind of help you out."
What a diffusing, lovely quote there. Omega Red does eventually escape, but the heroes are gone. They've taken the people with them. And while they're nursing Wolverine back to health, they discover that this is Wolverine's past, and he has a little flashback. And this is where you see Captain America on the screen, because he's still around at that time. So Omega Red was frozen 25 years ago, he says. This is set in 1991, 1992, so this kind of puts it back to 66, 65 or something like that. Anyway, so we see Omega Red came out, and what we find out is that Wolverine and his German commando pal / superhero Maverick took him down, and they put him on ice. That's what we find out about that.
Yeah. And I guess we're kind of going back. We're seeing this to kind of reveal the weakness.
Yes.
In some ways.
Oh my God, we will get to that.
Yeah.
It's fucking weakness. This amazing villain.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then we find out. Then the Blackbird turns up with Storm, Rogue, and Gambit. Why did it turn up, Dan? How did the X-Men know where they were? How did Storm, Rogue, and Gambit know where they were?
Was there a note?
There was a note. They turn up with the Blackbird, and they get out and they go, "We would have been here sooner, but Wolverine crumpled up your note and left it on the floor. So we had to go hunting around for notes, and we found it on the floor, and it was all crumpled up." And then Gambit was like, "Perhaps we should unscramble the note." And we were like, "Yeah, fucking great idea." Do you know what's amazing? For this X-Mansion to have jets aplenty, jets that can fly around the world in record time, a danger room that can produce hallucinations to be physical forms.
Yeah.
There's no fucking messaging system. I think you could really benefit from those, guys.
Honestly, whiteboard on the fridge.
Next to the chores.
Doesn't need to be sophisticated, guys.
Next to the chores. Whiteboard right there. Fucking note. Honestly, when Jubilee wrote this note at the start of the episode, I did not. Who could have fathomed it would have had such repercussions or become quite the plot device?
It really is driving the all of the kind of beats of action.
So they all fight Omega Red. As X-Men do. Do you know what? A lot of the time, the X-Men are outnumbering a villain 6-1, and they still get their asses handed to them a lot of the time.
I was very excited to see that Gambit has come to kind of provide the level of kind of artillery fire support that he kind of brings.
Oh yeah, he takes down some tanks, man.
Takes out some tanks. Rogue again is literally one of the most powerful. She's brought all this her kind of physical strength, agility, and all that sort of thing. And Storm has turned up to scold everyone again. She comes straight out of the Blackbird and is just like, "Guys, we have to have a better system about how we leave notes." It's
Also, I found some library books that haven't been returned, so we're going to be getting onto that as soon as we get back. Okay?
As soon as we get back, yeah. Now, also, there were organics in the in the red bin. Okay, Organics a green bin.
Yeah, and that goes out tomorrow. Gambit.
Yeah. So we're going to have to, we have to wrap this up, guys. We need to wrap this up because they need to go out. Otherwise, they'll be sitting there for another fortnight.
And wrap it up she does, because this guy...
she does, yeah.
Omega Red, that seems like indestructible. Even Wolverine can't really scratch him, because he's got carbonadium armor. Did I say that right? Or did I just name a pasta? Anyway...
yes. What is that?
Just say adamantium.
Wolverine starts going at him.
Yeah.
And he's
Just
like,
use adamantium.
my carbonadium armor.
Oh, my made-up metal. Yeah. You've got made-up metal too. Look at us. Oh, I guess it's a standoff. So Dark Star, the Jiminy Cricket Russian superhero, comes in and goes, Storm, you can make cold, right? He doesn't like cold. And, okay, long story short, they freeze him. Colossus holds him in place, and Storm freezes him back into an ice block. He's like, no, I can't go back. And that's when you realize the real trauma he really kept. Like, were you awake that whole time, bro? When he goes, I can't go back. Suddenly you hear the panic in his voice, like, oh shit, did we not freeze his brain too? Like, oh shit, guys, were you there for 25 years?
He's not asleep.
In a constant state of sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
But also, I was like, hold on. Wait, we've done so well here. We've done so well. And are you telling me that the weakness of the symbol of the Soviet Union, of Mother Russia, his weakness is cold?
Yeah.
Cold. Cold temperatures is his fucking weakness. Are you shitting me?
Yeah.
That is me banging my fist on my desk, if you can't see that.
Yeah, it's like the only thing worse would be like, his weakness is shots of vodka. Like, he gets drunk so easily.
He's such a lightweight.
He hates spirits. He's such a lightweight.
Yeah.
It feels very...
That was the only bit that I was like, okay. All right, fine. You know, you did freeze him, but that kind of seems a bit more like a laboratory process after you've subdued him. Fine. Yeah. Fine. And that's pretty much the episode. They go Omega Red in there. They ask Colossus to join the X-Men. He's like, no, my home is here, but maybe I can visit. / we can't afford you in terms of the rights. What do you think is about this episode on the whole, Dan?
I thought this episode was definitely a step up from the last couple, which have been, to be honest, disappointing. I thought I actually enjoyed this one, which was good. I wonder if it's almost like when they do these kind of one and done, they have to move so fast that there's a chance that it just seems chaotic and weird. Yeah. Which I think is what happened with that. Watching this one versus
Shadow King or something.
Whatever it takes. Yeah. I think this was a much better example of how to do this. Still feels rushed though. Like there are bits in this that I was like, I could spend a bit longer in this moment, but a good example of how to do this kind of shorter form episode.
It was good, wasn't it? I liked it. Like I know that you said it felt a little bit rushed. I prefer you give me rushed or like labored, I would take rushed every day. Yeah. Like, let's keep going. And also, the action in this was really fun. Like, we talked about Gambit throwing his cards around, blowing up tanks, Colossus throwing shit around. Like, we kind of glossed over it because we're just talking about it. But there was a lot of great action in this. Like, a lot of fights. Yeah. Wolverine's actually going nuts with his claws. There's things flying around. And all the X-Men get to, like, really show off their stuff.
Yeah. Good fights in this one.
It had it all, man. It had action. It had communism, the rise of the threat of the rise of communism again. It had Colossus, who's one of my favorite X-Men. Jubilee stepped up. Got her to have some nice screen time where she wasn't annoying. A lot of the time, I think it's so easy to make Jubilee annoying, but she actually added a lot of value in this one.
There is a real kind of difficulty with a character who is like the cool young one, right? Where it's like. Often it's like it's so easy to kind of fall into like this is just kind of cringy and uncomfortable. And
Yeah. So easy to make them Poochie, the dog from the Itchy and Scratchy show.
Yeah. But I thought she was genuinely there's a couple of genuinely funny things that she said, and as you say, she was kind of. I was not, when I saw her come out on the rocket skateboard, I was like, oh, it's going to be a long episode.
Yeah.
But it turned around. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I would argue her note was more powerful than all her powers.
Yes. Yeah.
Damn, that was a good one. I really enjoyed that one.
I enjoyed that one as well. Let's see if
this quality continues.
Can continue. Can the quality continue? We'll find out next week when we're back with the next episode of X-Men Animated Series Re-Examined. Until that time, please, if you're enjoying the show, feel free to subscribe. You can find it wherever you find your podcast. I forgot to put a plural on that.
It's implied.
Also, you can follow both Javier and myself on the internet. Quite easy to find. Javier has just released our stand-up comedy special.
Yes,
YouTube,
I did. It's on YouTube.
Watch it.
I thank you very much. That I've released it. It's called Difficult First Album. It's a collection of my favorite comedy routines over the last 10 years of doing comedy, and I'm quite happy with it. And you go check it out on YouTube. Difficult First Album comedy special. If you search that, you'll find it.
Yeah, you should be happy with it, Javier. It's I think a great example of just. Here are jokes that have been just worked. I think I mentioned this, but I'll say it again here. There isn't an ounce of fat on it.
Oh, that's very kind of you to say, Dan.
It's just lean. There's nothing that is not either a joke or the most efficient punchline and setup to the punchline. It's very worked. And an easy recommendation for just, do you want to watch a comedy show? Here's comedy.
Yeah. Thanks, mate. Yes, you can hear that. That's a stringent reviewing there from my best man, Dan.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not going to gush. I'm not going to gush. But here's what it is. Here's what it is, and it fucking does what it says on the tin, and it's incredibly well engineered and yeah.
But don't take Dan's word for it. You go watch it yourselves, guys.
You
tell
watch
me.
Yourself.
Rebuttal him. Rebuke him.
Yeah. Tell Harv how flabby his thing
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I watched it.
Just
chewy.
Such long rambling setups for very little punchline.
Go check it out. See what you think. Thanks very much, everyone. We will catch you next week.
Awesome. See you then, Harv. Cheers.
Thank you very much, mate. Catch you later. Bye.
Are podcasts too interesting? Especially if you use them to fall asleep. I'm Dan Bain, and all 4 seasons of my podcast, Sleepy Time Mumbles, are interesting enough to listen to, but not interesting enough to keep you awake. Sleepy Time Mumbles, a podcast you can miss, wherever you get your podcasts.